Welcome to Tapped In, where we dive deep into frequencies of life, culture, and everything in between. I'm Moni Moni.
And I'm your other host, Mariah. We're going to be your hosts on this sonic journey through ideas, stories, and just the pulse of the world. Tune in with us weekly as we unravel the beat and the rhythms of existence right here on Tapped In. Let's get started.
So I guess the first topic that we're going to talk about today is, really being tapped in. What station are you on currently?
Ooh, juicy, juicy.
So I think one of the best things to kind of describe it is, I guess, the radio station, right? I think my aunt is the one who really put that in my mind, and it's just stayed there. She told me, she's like, well, you got to decide which radio station you're in, and you got to decide, are you in the AMs or the FMs? And
okay.
I'm deciding to be on the FMs now, you know what I'm saying?
No one wants to be on the AM. It's the worst. Like, even if you're in a car and you accidentally click the button and you get back on the AM station, you're like, oh no, get me off of here.
I know, for real. Well, I mean, I guess when I look at it in my life and I apply it to my life, I guess the one way I would describe it is just kind of like where I'm at currently is I'm just ready to tap into those like go-getting frequencies, Like,
yes.
I'm ready to just be that tapped in, because I feel for a long time I was mostly worried about other people's, what other people's station, I would say. But I feel like I'm in the time in the era where it's just like I gotta focus on myself, and boundaries are getting thrown left and right, like Oprah, I'm saying, you get a boundary, you get a boundary. Boundaries. So,
yes, it's boundary season.
What station are you on, girl?
I think I'm on the FM station for sure. And like, in case y'all don't know, like when we say FM, we're thinking like you're awake. You're not like going through the matrix. You're not just doing everyday life blindly. You're like awake to the spiritual world around you, and it looks different to everyone. Yeah, so I want to say I'm on the FM, and I'm very happy to be on the FM. I've been on the FM for I think 3 years now. How about you?
Me, I've also been, I want to say, since like 2018, I think. 5 years.
Oh, wow.
5 years. Oh my gosh.
It's exciting. I know it's different for everyone. So
I've had several.
Okay.
Like, I know a lot of people, like some people will say, oh, I'm going through my spiritual awakening, and that'll be the only one they've had. But honestly, like I've had multiple, like, and I think it's just kind of like evolving, like it's not the same every single time. It's different. And it feels different sometimes, sometimes I'm like sitting there and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much time or how much like dramatic or less dramatic it's been, and sometimes I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm just like, what is this? Like, I ain't ready for this, and universe just be like, come on, girl, let's go. It's time. What about you?
I really understand that. I feel like for me, especially, like at first, like I really didn't know I was having a spiritual awakening. I thought I was like going crazy. Like, I just started like hearing things, seeing things, and then like I was like, what is going on? Thank God for TikTok. That was like when TikTok started getting popular, and it was like during COVID, so everyone was home and everyone was on TikTok. And thank God I had it. Cause then like the universe is so kind. They sent me videos of things I was going through, and I related to them, and I was like, okay, so I'm not crazy, because all these other people in the world are having spiritual awakenings too, and they're going through everything I'm going through. So like, I don't know what I would have done without TikTok. I would have been in the loony bin, because I just like started seeing things, like hearing things. I felt like my third eye was opening. I didn't even know what a third eye was.
Girl, I feel you on that. I mean, I've had a few where I'm just like, okay, I'm officially going crazy. Like, this is it. No, and I felt like, I don't know, like a lot of things happened. I went through a divorce. I had lost my dad the same year that I had my baby. And, it was like a lot. And then it was just a cherry on top. Honestly, I feel like I always say that my dad passing was like the cherry on top of everything. It was like the final thing I needed. And then I got pushed into this harsh awakening. And yeah, I actually spent some time in the behavioral hospitals, and I really just needed to figure myself out, figure out my meds and kind of get everything the way I needed. But for the most part, like I've been evolving every year. I almost feel like I go through one. Some years I feel like they're quick, and other years I feel like they're forever
Dragging
or
on.
drags on. But I think I'm finally in the stage where like I can really focus on myself, like really put myself first. And I haven't felt like that in a while, but it's it is where it's at, and I think that's where I'm currently at right now. Like I'm so used to wanting to help other people, help
Yeah.
other people awaken that. I want to say in 2022, I think I was actually supposed to be a part of this massive movement called Oasis. And, it turned out not to be for me, but,
Yeah.
it was just kind of like I was already tapping into like wanting to heal everybody else, knowing for damn sure that I needed to heal myself first. And it was a lot. So my therapist currently like is telling me, you're doing good. I feel like you're growing. He's definitely taught me the boundaries part, especially when wanting to help other people. Cause
Yeah.
girl, I be trying to save the world. And it sucks when the world doesn't want to be saved.
Yes, that is such an important lesson. Yes, it's an important lesson. You can't help people who don't want to be saved, and you spend so much of that energy. That was a big lesson for me over the last few years as well, because you just can't. You have to, it's like the plane analogy. You have to put your mask on before you put your passenger's mask on, or you're going to pass out.
Yeah.
Like you have to, it's always you first. And I feel like, we have a thing in this society where selfishness is very like, oh, well, they're just selfish. But like, no, it's like you have boundaries.
Right. See, and that's
So,
the thing though. Like, I don't know. I went through multiple phases, I guess, and
mhm.
with each one, it was like universe was testing me. Like, are you really ready to work on yourself, or are
Yeah.
you still gonna sit here and help another person? Which is not bad. Like, I don't have problems with helping anybody. I can't keep trying to do 85% of the work for someone who only is barely wanting to even give 15%. Like we can't do that.
Yes.
I don't mind doing my 50%, and if you meet me the other halfway, then that's it.
Mhm.
Then we'll work on it.
Yes.
But I think coming into this year, where I'm at right now, where I'm currently tapped in, currently tapped in. I'm tapped into me. Like I want to heal myself properly. I want to hit certain goals, and I know to do that I have to really put myself forefront, and that could be intense and scary at the same
Yeah.
time because for so long I put myself in the back burner.
Hmm.
It's okay, I'll work on myself later. But
Yeah.
now I'm just kind of like, nope, here's me. And now I'm just like, ooh, I got to reanalyze who I am, how I am, what I want to do, and what I want to mature, and change,
Yeah.
because I think I've been on fight or flight for a while. But currently, like, I'm just tuned in. Like, I'm tuned into the right space, the right mindset, and
Yes. We love to
love
see
it.
it.
Yes.
And it's just a journey. So, like, for anyone listening, like, she's been on this journey 5 years. I've been on it 3 years, and I'm still, it's just healing is not linear. It's always going to be like a mountain, up, down, up, down, up, down. And sometimes you even have to go backwards before spirit is going to push you way forward. It's just a journey. And I think that's why we wanted to start this podcast, because we want to connect to people who want to be tapped in and go on this journey with us for healing and just what we're going through. And then if that possibly helps you guys and you just laugh at us, like, come join us. Like,
Yes.
we love to have you here. Yeah.
Tune in, tap in.
Tap, tap, tap.
Yeah, no, but for real, like Mariah's right. We just want to tell our story and have it out there, but hopefully help others that are in the same frequency as us. I
Yeah.
think that's the intention, is to find our tribe, find our group, find people who are in the same energy overall, because it's important, and I think we can learn something off of one another. Just also letting people know that you're not alone in this, because it is a
Yeah.
lot. It is a lot. And sometimes you do feel alone. Sometimes you want to be alone, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Like I ain't got no problem with that. For the most part, like we want to let you guys know that you're not alone in this. We're going through it with you. Let's heal together.
Yeah. The good, the bad, the ugly.
The good,
But
the bad, the ugly, she said. So being that that's where we're at, I want to kind of get into the frequency world, like the
okay.
energetic fields. So what we kind of want to talk about is where we're at, what frequencies we're allowing ourselves to be around, and then also deciphering like if something's good for us energetically, or do we have to push it away and say that's not for us, that's not our.
Yes. We're talking about deciphering energy. And so I know for me, this is a lesson I'm still learning. And it's funny you say that because I feel like I'm going through the trenches now. And with like 2024 starting, I feel like spirit is still making me clear out a lot of like dead weight in my life. And with that comes the energy, like what to be around. And it's just so hard. Because I know for me, it's like I love people and I love to help heal people. I'm kind of like you. Like I can see the potential in people. Like, let me help you. I see so much potential in you. But then, do these people even want to be helped? Like, a lot of them have really bad habits, and it's not judging them. But I know for me, I don't want these bad habits in my life, and I want to, expand and go forward. And so, I know for me, like, I've been struggling with deciphering energy, and I feel like Spirit's been testing me, like, hey, are you going to put a boundary up? Are you going to, like, instead of like, maybe you should go home and like meditate. Maybe you should go to the gym. Maybe you should go to nature and go for a walk. Or am I going to go hang out with someone who wants to go get drunk? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because
Yes.
how is that productive? Like there's a time and place. Like drinking is not bad. It's okay to drink, let loose, have fun. Like I think spirit wants us to have fun and live life while we're here, but at what it costs. You know what I'm trying to say? Because then
Yes.
spirit's like, hey, you're telling me you want to expand this year. You want this, this, and that. You want the dream business. You want the dream house. You want to have like the community that we want for you, but you're not like you know what I'm trying to say? Your time is
Yes.
going to these other energies. And these other energies have like all this drama in their lives that you're like becoming a vessel to. And it's just really hard. So I'm learning that right now, how to decipher. And like for me, it's like I don't want to ever hurt anyone's feelings because I love my friends, family, people
Right.
I'm around. But I have to put me first. It goes back to putting yourself first. I have to say, okay, like what are my dreams this year? Like what am I about? Like I need to put me first. I can't put like, okay, well, they're going through something right now, so I need to drop what I'm doing and go over there for 10 hours. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I do, girl. I think I
Yeah.
can relate to that right now. And I think I've been going through this for 5 years. And throughout the years, I've always had to cut people off. And not to say, oh my God, I'm the best person, because I'm not. I'm evolving and I'm growing. But however, like, I had to learn that with family, which was the hardest one of all. Like, and I think a
Yeah.
lot of people can relate to that because the people we want to truly win is our family, but sometimes they don't want us to win. And that's the
Yes.
hardest part of it all. And I had to learn that with my family. Also, being the oldest, because I am the oldest out of four siblings, I had to play mom a lot, even with my own
Yeah.
dad. Even
Yeah.
my dad,
So,
like he was in and out, of the system. My dad was, but my mom, I just I was her right hand, and
yeah.
sometimes I was just the only hand, and so because of that, like as an adult now, and even as my siblings grow older, they still look to me for advice, for, just help. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I really am. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, I need to step back and let them grow and
Yes.
on their own. And that's okay. They know if they truly ever need me, all they have to do is call me. And they know that.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to my brothers and my sister. I love you guys. Y'all are the pain in my ass, just letting y'all know. But anyways, no, but they are, I have a child myself, and
Yeah.
even now my nieces are like my kiddos too, and I'm okay being that part. The part that was really hard was setting up solid boundaries with them, being like, hey, I can help you with this, but I can no longer do this for you. And I think
Yes.
another hard boundary that I had to put up was with another family member of mine. Like, I love this family member so much. Like, we were like glue,
Uh-huh.
we just, it was hard because I know she's going through things right now, but it's just, there comes a time where like I can be there for you, but if you're gonna dump on me, or just your energy is so heavy and it's gonna drag me down with you, or
Yes.
it drags any event or moment down, I gotta step away. I do. I really have to step away because I am like transmuting all that energy and I can feel it. I soak it
Ooh.
in. I'm like a
Yeah.
sponge, and it sucks because then I start projecting and I don't want to
Mhm.
project anybody on anybody else.
Yeah.
And that's currently where I'm at. So I had to decipher, is this really something I'm supposed to help, or is this something I'm supposed to step away from?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I got to know which one, and it sucks because it's like you
Mhm.
want to help, they're not open. And I guess you got to
Yeah.
feel around. I guess the
Mhm.
strongest piece of advice that I could give is feel around. Feel
Yeah.
around what you think. If you feel like this energy is just going to be too heavy, even for you to handle or be around, walk away, but do so respectfully. Because a lot of
Yeah.
people do it harshly. And I think that's where all those
Mhm.
problems start.
Yeah.
I know with the person that I had to put that boundary with, I did it out of love. And I
Yeah.
want them to know that. Like, I did it out of love. I did it because I love you. Why? Because I feel like I've given all the advice I possibly can. I would sit there and
Yeah.
send paragraphs, like message, like, you better do this, like meditate on this, like do this. I mean, I would send meditation videos over. I would send positive affirmations over. I would do everything, like whatever I could.
Yeah.
And it's like this person just wants to be in this mindset at this moment. And I had to learn that, like, hey, this person wants to be here right now. And it
Yeah.
sucks because you want to pull them out, but you can't. You can't. And
Mhm.
then you can't even surround yourself. So, I had people over in my space, in my area, and I wanted to do this whole like get out there, have fun, go to brunch, do all these cute things.
Uh-huh.
But I felt like the energy was just down. And that's fine.
Oh.
I get it. They were, all of us, we were all going through shit. But it was one of those things that I was just like, just push through it. Like, push through it. And I did ask respectfully. And I did sit there and try to change up the scenery and things like that.
Yeah.
No, I got nothing. But then the next day, I'm seeing like a whole other version on Snapchat. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
Oh, like all happy and like in a good
yeah, and it's like,
mood.
okay, you couldn't do that with me. But that's fine. That's fine. Maybe you're not happy around me. Maybe around me is where the time that you feel safe enough to
Mhm.
open up and be like truly show me what you're going through, which is perfectly fine. It's just that wasn't so much voiced, and I had a different interpretation of what that time
You
was
know what's
supposed to be.
funny? I used to have a friend like that, actually. And one of the things I noticed was like, okay, kind of like you said, like, okay, well, she's always having so much fun with all her other friends, like when they go out. But when we go out, she's like dumping all her trauma on me. like,
Yeah.
oh, like, okay, like everything bad in her life. And then it's not a good time because she's just like so upset over like this boy or her job or
Mhm.
this, and that. And it was just like, okay, it's okay to be there for your friends when they go through hard things. But every time we hang out, and then it's like you're only calling me because I'm listening to you. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
But then
Yes,
she
I
wouldn't
get
even
that a
invite me
lot.
with her other friends that she's having so much fun with. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
She wouldn't
Girl.
even invite me. She would like be like, "Oh, well, I just forgot to invite you." And I'd be like, "Okay, that's kind of weird."
Mhm.
And just little things I started noticing like that. Like, it got so bad, girl. And this was like a wake up call. This was the last time we ever hung out. We went to lunch and she had invited some other friends she had met at her apartment pool. We all went to brunch because I'm like you. I wanted to get into the cute brunchy thing.
Yes,
I want to take the
Snapchat.
pictures. Yes. And
Get that
so
Instagram content.
Yes, exactly. And so I was excited for this brunch. I'm like, yeah, I need a girls' day. I'm a single mom. I got a kid too, girl. And I needed a break. I was like, let's go get dressed up. My kid's at his dad's for the weekend. Let's go. And we go. And I had just met her friend, and me and her friend were just like talking because we are both like half black. So we were kind of connecting on a cultural level, you know? And
Right.
so, but you could tell, like, and that's one thing about like people like me and you. I don't know if you can do this, but I can tell when energy's off. Like,
Yeah.
I immediately peep it. I can feel it.
It's almost like you can see it. Like it's just like
Yes.
you know that Bella, okay, let's go back. You know that Bella
Okay.
moment in the Twilight series, where she's like having to do this protective field, like to protect everyone. I can see it like that. Like it's so
They,
fucking crazy. Like
it's
I
clear, clear as
physically see
day.
it. And I'm just like, ah. Like I always know. I always know.
Yeah,
Just know.
me
When I
too.
walk into the room, I always know.
That's why people, and that's a topic. Well, I don't want to get sidetracked, but
Hmm.
basically, that's what happened. I could feel it energetically. So I don't see it. I just feel it on my skin. And
Mm.
so I just felt it. And I was like, what's going on? Anyway, and she's like, we're all just talking. And then this is like when I realized Spirit told me, like, hey, she is not your friend. So we're sitting there, we're still with a new friend. And my best friend from college had recommended a place for me to move to across the city. And I'm not from the city I live in. And so I had sent her all the apartments. I was like, hey, I really like this apartment. The guy you're talking to, he's a local. Can you send this to him and see if this is a safe side of town to live on? So she's like, yeah. Sends it to him, gets back to me. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a great side of town to live on. Yeah, that's like a great location. I had toured the apartment and it was safe during the day, but you just never know in the city. You know, if you're not like originally
Right.
from there, you kind of don't know. And so I ended up moving into the apartment. Turns out it was a fluke. Like it's like in the bad side of town. My apartment's still really nice, but I did not know it was like so much like activity over here. Let's just put it that way.
That's
And
messed up though.
it is. And this is
It's messed
where
up
I was
because you
like,
have a kiddo.
thank you. Thank you. And I just like didn't never said nothing, you know, because it's like 2 weeks before. Now we're at brunch. I didn't say anything. And this is how I knew she knew. She like played in my face, girl. I was sitting there talking to her new friend, felt that energy change. We're all talking. And she goes, hey, did you know Mariah lives on this side of town? To the new friend. Like, she's like, hey, she lives like in the ghetto part of town. Like, trying to like dim my light. And I told girl, I'm like, this is not your friend. This is the last
Mm-hmm.
straw. God has been calling her out for months. She's got to go. She's got
I
to
go.
go. And that's like
You get a
about
boundary.
energy.
You get a boundary.
You get a boundary. You get a boundary. You
They
get a
handing them
boundary.
out like Oprah Winfrey around here, okay? No, but
Basically.
that's so messed up because you have a kid. So there's too many things that are wrong with that whole situation. And let's be real. Like one,
Oh,
she just set you up. Two, it's the fact that she was okay with placing you in a danger zone
thank
knowing
you.
you had a child. Like, that hits the bone a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? Like, mama to mama, like, I would have whooped it. Yeah, I'm just kidding, y'all. I'm not violent, I promise. But, I don't even got to do that. Like, there's a karma bucket for a reason. And I
Thank
know a
you.
lot of people like to throw karma out there. And I think there's good karma and there's bad karma, But you know what? Not even that. Like, I just want to say, I don't wish anybody negative energy at all because I don't. But,
Mm-hmm.
don't my kid. That's the only thing I can
Yeah.
say. Like, I'm okay if you try to come for me. Like, that's fine. Like, we can hash it out spiritually. I got my spiritual guys waiting. They just waiting.
Yes.
But,
Same.
but you come after my kid. Mm-mm.
Ooh,
Uh,
girl, tell me
but,
about it. I just
no.
let it go, gave it to God, and
Yes.
that's what it
Well,
is. And I believe in karma too. Like I know, like the spiritual army around like those who are awakened and those who are like tapped in with their angels and ancestors.
exactly.
You don't want to play with them. That's why I don't ever worry. I just try to be peace, love, and light. And I don't know, but I've also been getting into that dark feminine energy, which I know you know a lot about. So we'll give a teaser
We'll
for
save
that
that for
because
another
yeah.
episode. We talk about that dark feminine energy, okay? But
Mhm.
what I will like to say, kind of like, so now we know, certain things and energy to watch out from. Like, it isn't always like someone's coming at you directly. Sometimes you just sense the energy, and that's fine. You know, a lot of people are there for seasons. You know, even the year has seasons. You know, there's so many changes that happens, and I think that comes along with people. We're not supposed to have every single person we meet in life
forever
for us, you know, drag on to season to season to season. There's few people are there that season. You know what I'm saying? And some of them have to walk away, not just for you to grow, but for themselves to grow, like for themselves, you know? And that's just the thing. Like, you have to, nobody owes you an explanation if they walk away. And they just don't. But at the same time, you know, I do like to say, hey, I'm doing it out of love because I don't feel like you're getting anything from me and I'm not getting anything from you. And that's just kind of like, we can't do that to each other. You got to go evolve on your own. I'm going to come out evolve on my own too, you know? And we're just on two separate playing fields, and that's fine. That's fine. You know, maybe we find ourselves around once we're old and, you know, tits are sagging and shit. Like, maybe that's when we find each other. But until then, you know, I love you and I'm always going to root for you, but I'm going to stay on my side. And I think that's the difference, is like knowing how to walk away. Point this out real quick. The reason why you want to walk away without hurt is because in the long run, that hurts you more.
Yes.
You got to hold on to that hurt for as long as you do. It festers and it grows and it's like a snowball. And you don't want that. Let that shit go. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go and let them grow. That's how I see it. But
I like that.
Nice idea. Just
See, I think so. But I really like that. And it's funny, like that last phrase you said, it was like one of the last messages I sent her. Like after that, we didn't talk for like 6 or 7 months. And then after that, like she reached back out, like, hey, like let's catch up. That little phrase you just said in the back, I literally was like, hey, I appreciate the time we had together all these years. But, you know, I'm always gonna be rooting you on from like the outside. We don't have to be like this no more, you know?
Well, I mean, and again, now that we know that, we can move on from that. And even by moving on from that, let's talk about that high frequency energy though. Like, girl, let's talk about that real quick, because that is wild. Like, I just love it. I actually was on the phone today and I got off the phone with one of the best people I know. Shout out to Carolina. I love you, girl. She just reminds me of like that I need to go harder with my connections. And I think that's where I'm at frequency wise. Like, I was such in hermit mode for a long time. Like, I'm ready to step out and step into the higher frequency. And by higher frequency, it's like, yeah, I do mean like I want to be in the room with millionaires because I'm looking to be the next one. You know, I had an ex try to reach out, send me a friend request, you know. Yes, girl. And it was like, no, not accepting, delete. And I feel like that was a test from universe though. Like, I feel like that was the real test from universe, because it's like, okay, are you ready now? Like, let's see, I'm gonna throw out this little test for you. Girl, flying colors. I said, hell no.
We said flying colors.
Like, you're not even my baby daddy. Like, you know, like stay over there. Stay over there, boy. But what I will say is that, like, because of that, I was able to distinguish, like, okay, that's past energy. I don't want to go back to it. So now, what does this new frequency look? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? You know, and you got to tap into that. And I think the biggest thing is success. I feel like I'm in that spot that is going to climb to success. You know, I don't feel like I'm there right now. I don't feel successful at this moment. However, I have triumphed in my moments. I've had good moments already, but I still feel like I planted a lot of seeds last year. This year is all about just watering them, you know, showing them love. And part of that is surrounding myself with like-minded people. And that's what we mean by frequencies. Where are you currently and what is that attracting?
That's deep. It's good.
Yes, girl. Like, where are you at and what is that attracting? And right now, I'm currently attracting like-minded people. So, where are you at, girl?
I'm in the same boat, girl. I'm in the same boat. I will say, like, for me, like, frequency-wise, I'm ready for just, like, I know saying a podcast about love, but it is, because spirituality is love, or all things in life, basically. So, friendship, romantic wise, I just want lots of love this year. I want like just to receive. I want to like be in that loving embodiment, you know. I want to attract, you know, like I don't want to have to chase. And we attracted each other. Like it was very random. I put like random video out on TikTok on my business page. I have a crystal holding brawl. It'll be tagged below eventually. But basically,
it's good, girls. Trust me.
It is. It is. But we'll get into that later. But basically, I put a little video out and Moni saw it and it didn't even have that many likes. But we got connected and we both felt aligned with each other. Like we felt like, wow, like it was just so much energy, our first like phone conversation.
Oh my God, yes. Our first phone conversation was like this. Like we were just, I don't know what we were tapped into, but I kid you not, it was literally like just flowing. And it was just like, I loved it. Well, I reached out to Mariah because, you know, she does have this business and I wanted to showcase it on IOP, which we'll talk about later. Okay. We found this connection genuinely. Like when I think back and think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh. When we get so deep,
real quick,
like we get deep real quick, okay? You know, no, I'm just kidding. Definitely deep with our life, and I feel like it was funny because I was telling you throughout that whole time, like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm talking to myself because I kid you not, I felt like I found me, like I found another me, you know, in a good way. Like I was just like, we think alike. It was just crazy, you know, and to actually sit on the phone and be like, oh my God, I know I said that a few times because it was like we were resonating with each other so much that I was like, girl, but I'm grateful for you, girl. I'm definitely grateful for our connection and grateful for what we're creating together. And, you know, like I said, this is part of being tapped into the same frequency, you know, and this is what this is all about.
Yes, stay tuned.
Always remember if something's negative, push it away, set up that healthy boundary. If it feels good and it feels right, show it some light.
So I also wanted to say a big part of deciphering energy, this was in my mind a second ago, is basically you need to like be in tune with your intuition. And that's, you know, being tapped in, what the podcast is about. And this season, we're going to go over different ways that you can like work on your intuition because we're also healing. We're also going to be like on this journey with you guys, as well as like listen to your intuition the first time so you don't have to learn the lesson the hard way. Because I know that story I told, I wasn't trying to get like all negative, but it turned out very negative because God had gave me lots of other signs intuitively. If I was tapped in and listening, it would not have gotten to that point. Right. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So we need to listen to our intuition and we need to be tapped in. That's because, you know, we save ourselves a lot of like heartbreak. I don't think spirit and source want us like heartbroken or sad and depressed and like going through the trenches in life. There's always going to be ups and downs in life, but like let's not get all the way down on purpose. You know what I'm trying to say? By ignoring ourselves.
So, know where your limit is, okay? Know exactly when you tune into the AMs, okay? And try to find your way back into the FMs because and that's kind of the reason why I told my story, you know, with a family member of mine. And it's just like it was so hard. It makes it painful. And the thing is we have to love ourselves more to know that we're not meant for every situation, person, place, or thing. Like we need to decipher where we're going to be at and where we're going to stray away from because if you don't, you will get caught in this cycle. And the universe has a pattern of, oh, you didn't learn your lesson this time. Let me throw in another similar lesson. Oh, you didn't learn it this time. Let's learn it this time. Oh, you really didn't learn it this time. Boom, hit the wall. All right. Did you learn it?
I used to always be like, oh, OMG, why do I always attract these crappy men? Why do I attract these crappy friends? Why do people always do this to me? I was so much in the victim mode. And that's something I've learned too in my spiritual awakening. It's like, I am not a victim. Like, I choose to be around these people. It's my fault. I need to heal and I need to go in.
It's that simple thing. You ask the question why.
Yeah.
You asked why. And universe showed you why. What you express is really like universe is listening. So if you're asking the question, it's gonna respond, you know? I need to change the way I speak. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Be intentional. And I think that's the biggest lesson. Be intentional, okay?
Yes. Stay tapped in with us. Come on along this journey. Hopefully we can like channel with you. Like hopefully whatever you're going through, we can be that vessel for you guys and Source can like speak through us and, you know, just be there with you. Cause I know for me, TikTok and podcasts across everywhere were what got me through it. So
right. And just know that we are listening. Talking about staying tapped in, be sure to subscribe on all of our channels. join all of our social media platforms. Be sure to check out our YouTube for visuals. Join our Patreon for $6 a month for extra episodes and more.
Yay! Yes, and we're gonna have some exciting bonuses for you guys and our extra content. We're gonna have a Patreon, $6 a month, where you can hang out with us and just chill. And we can even do questions that you guys personally want to ask us on there too. Please follow us on social media. I want us to have our own soul tribe. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, with that, we love you guys so much. Stay tapped in, and remember, always try to stay in the FM.
Yes, FM for life.
For lifers. Bye. See you next episode.
Bye.